Hello, I'm Allison.
I'm Karen.
And we are OT students at the University of Tennessee Health Science Center in Memphis. And today we are going to be showing you the leather lacing, which is a way to assess cognitive levels, also known as the ACLS, Allen Cognitive Level Screen. And you will get a kit that contains leather, the needles that you'll use in the leather piece, and an instruction or test manual. And you will begin with having 3 of the running stitch. You will go ahead as a therapist and have these done before you administer this to the patient. 3 of the running stitch, 4 of the whip stitch, and 4 of the single cordovan. And just make sure that while you're administering this to the patient that they are always able to see what you are doing. So with the running stitch, you will show to them, tell them as you're doing it. This is a standardized test, so there are certain things that you have to say, but you would show them and tell them what you're doing, and then have them show you the running stitch.
She's sitting to the left of me, which is required, and if she were left-handed, she'd still have to teach me the right-handed way. So, just a good thing to remember. Okay.
Okay.
How does it look?
It looks good. If they made any mistakes, you would say, "Does yours look like mine?" And based on their response, if she said, "Well, yes, mine looks like yours," well, no, you have a mistake. Can you find it for me? Can you fix it? And basically, that's what you do throughout the test if they do make any mistakes. The next stitch is the whip stitch, and you will then, at this point in the test, explain that the leather has a smooth, shiny side and a dark, rough side, and give the patient a chance to touch and see for themselves, and remind them that with these stitches you always want the smooth, shiny side showing.
And if for some reason they can't see the stitching or the holes, there's a larger version of this, but you should always start with this version. So one of the main excuses people use for not being able to do this correctly is not being able to see. So you do want to make sure you ask them before you ever start if they're allowed to see, if they can see the holes and stuff.
Yes. And with the whip stitch, basically you just tell the patient that you're going around through and pull. Make sure that there are no twists in the leather, that the smooth, shiny side is showing. And then ask them to do 3.
Just going to do 1, 2 for time's sake, even though I normally do 3. And I have a tendency to make it. Okay. So you can see I've just done a couple and they match hers.
After the patient has done 3, you will then block this from their view, or you'll tell them that you're going to make a mistake and then see if they can fix it. And the first mistake is to go on the wrong side and cross it and pull it through like so. And then you will give it to the patient and see if they can find your mistake and fix it. Great job. The second mistake, and you will... Now we're back from our short commercial break. For the second mistake on the whip stitch, basically you'll just do the whip stitch and make it where the dark side is showing the wrong side. And then when they try to correct it, just ask them to try to correct it without taking the entire stitch out and flipping it over. See if they can, maneuver it back to where the shiny side is showing. Sorry about that second commercial break. Now we're going to move on to the single cordovan stitch, and this is the hardest stitch. And basically what you'll do is, you've already done 4 of them prior to administering, so you'll just ask the patient, you'll have them look at it and see if they can do the stitch based
just on figuring it out.
Just on figuring it out, just by looking at it.
And I can just tell you that I was not able to figure it out, but I've had instructions on this yesterday, so I'm just going to pretend that I figured it out. But probably a lot of patients won't be able to, since a lot of therapists won't be able to. And I'm still not so great at it. Okay, so I went through the stitch.
Sorry, that was our final commercial break. And Karen was demonstrating the single cordovan.
I just put the loop through, so now I'm going to finish putting it through, I need to stay to the left of the lacing, which is kind of the hard part of this one. And you also can't twist it, which I am twisting it because I'm not very good at this. But so I would do 3 of these, and this is definitely the hardest one. And then kind of see how the different stitches look. And then based on how they did, you could go to the back of the manual and look at the different stitches and what different levels they'd be at. Do we have anything else to add?
And this is one of the most popular assessments in mental health.
Right. So it's important for OT students to know how to do this because there's a good chance you'll be able to do it. It's cheap. It's easy to get online. It's like $15, I think. So it's a nice, easy tool to carry around. And that concludes episode 1 of OT Student Videos.